A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a landmark decision on Thursday, a federal appeals court has overturned the Federal Communications Commission's (FCC) efforts to reinstate net neutrality regulations, a principle that mandates internet service providers (ISPs) to treat all internet traffic equally. This ruling has significant implications for consumers and the future of internet access in the United States. Net neutrality has been a contentious issue in American politics, with both Republican and Democratic administrations taking opposing stances on the principle. The FCC, under Democratic leadership, had voted last year to restore regulations that would require major ISPs like AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon to provide equal access to all internet content, without charging consumers extra fees for premium services or throttling speeds for competing services. Advocates for net neutrality argue that these regulations are essential for protecting consumers from potential abuses by ISPs, such as being charged higher prices for accessing popular streaming services or facing slower speeds when trying to access content from competitors. They believe that without net neutrality, ISPs could create a tiered internet system where only those who can afford to pay more would receive faster service, further widening the digital divide. Critics of net neutrality, however, contend that the regulations hinder ISPs' ability to manage their networks effectively and invest in infrastructure improvements. They argue that allowing ISPs the flexibility to prioritize certain types of traffic could lead to better services for all users in the long run. The FCC first introduced net neutrality rules during the Obama administration, only to see them dismantled under President Trump in 2017. President Biden's administration attempted to revive these rules, culminating in the recent FCC vote to restore them. However, the recent court ruling has effectively nullified these efforts even before the anticipated leadership change at the FCC with Brendan Carr, a Trump appointee, set to take over. In the wake of the ruling, outgoing FCC Chair Jessica Rosenworcel expressed her disappointment, stating that Americans deserve an internet that is fast, open, and fair. She called on Congress to take action and enshrine net neutrality principles into federal law to prevent further fluctuations in internet policy. Brendan Carr, the newly appointed FCC chair, responded to the court's decision by stating that the internet would continue to thrive without net neutrality rules. He characterized the Biden administration's push for these regulations as an overreach and emphasized the need for minimal government interference in internet management. The court's ruling, delivered by Judge Richard Allen Griffin, criticized the FCC for its inconsistent treatment of internet companies and deemed the reinstated net neutrality rules as part of a heavy-handed regulatory regime. The decision referenced the recent Supreme Court ruling in Loper-Bright, which limited federal agencies' authority to impose regulations not explicitly outlined in legislation. While the federal ruling has struck down net neutrality at the national level, some states, including California, Colorado, and Washington, have established their own net neutrality laws, which remain unaffected by the court's decision. However, with the Republican majority in Congress and the upcoming Trump administration, the likelihood of federal net neutrality legislation being passed appears slim in the near future. Consumer advocacy groups are alarmed by the court's decision, warning that without net neutrality, ISPs could prioritize their own services or those of paying partners, leading to a fragmented internet experience. They argue that this could disadvantage small businesses and startups that rely on equal access to compete in the digital marketplace. The debate over net neutrality is far from over, as the implications of the court's ruling will continue to resonate throughout the political landscape. With Congress now being urged to take definitive action, the future of the internet as an open and equitable platform hangs in the balance. As the nation watches closely, the conversation surrounding net neutrality is likely to intensify, with advocates and opponents alike preparing for a new round of discussions over the role of government in regulating the internet. The outcome of this ongoing battle will ultimately shape the digital landscape for generations to come. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.